She never thought her life would take such a sharp turn. The polished, perfect world she had built around herself suddenly felt too empty, too cold, too lonely. And that's where our story begins, with a simple order, an expectation of elegance, and the surprise of a lifetime. But wait until the very end, because the twist that's coming will leave you questioning what really matters in life. Elena Westbrook was the kind of woman who had grown used to perfection. Born into wealth, she carried herself with an air of grace and authority. Her sprawling penthouse apartment sat high above the city, with marble floors, floor-to-ceiling glass walls, and staff who catered to her every whim. And yet, when night fell and the noise of the city dimmed, her silence was unbearable. She lived in luxury, but she felt alone. So one morning, scrolling through her tablet while sipping her perfectly brewed cappuccino, she stumbled across an exclusive service, Prestige Companions and Butlers. The description promised not just personal assistance, but companionship with the most sophisticated, refined men trained in etiquette, cuisine, conversation, and the subtle art of being the perfect presence in one's life. Elena smirked. Maybe, just maybe, that was what she needed, to fill the silence. She ordered without hesitation, selecting 5-star butler service. The form asked for preferences. She ticked elegance, composure, musical sophistication, and discretion. With a flick of her manicured fingers, she confirmed the booking. In her mind, she imagined a tall, tuxedoed gentleman arriving at her door, bowing slightly, speaking with polished charm, and bringing with him the aura of refinement she craved. The doorbell rang the next day. Elena adjusted her silk robe, ready to meet her butler. But when she opened the door, she froze. Standing there was not a tuxedoed gentleman. Instead, a man in a slightly worn shirt, sleeves rolled up, stood holding a battered leather case. At his side was a little girl, barefoot, her curly hair tied in pigtails, holding a worn teddy bear in one hand and clutching her father's finger with the other. Elena blinked. I think there's been a mistake. I ordered a 5-star butler. The man gave an awkward smile, rubbing the back of his neck. Yeah, about that. I'm Ethan. They said they needed someone to take the job last minute, and, well, here I am. This is Lily, my daughter. I hope you don't mind. She doesn't like being left alone. Elena's lips parted in disbelief. A child? A father? A harmonica case instead of silver trays and wine knowledge? She almost slammed the door right then and there. But Lily looked up at her with wide, innocent eyes, and said softly, "You smell like flowers." For some reason, Elena stepped aside. Fine. Come in. But this is highly unorthodox. Ethan nodded, leading Lily inside. The girl padded barefoot across Elena's pristine marble floors, leaving faint little prints as she explored with innocent curiosity. Elena cringed at the sight, her spotless world disrupted. That first day was awkward. Ethan wasn't polished, he was warm. He didn't glide across the room like a professional butler. He laughed easily, cracked silly jokes for his daughter, and hummed while he worked. He didn't serve her meals with rigid formality. Instead, he asked her what her favorite childhood dish was, and then cooked a surprisingly simple but heartwarming pasta with fresh tomatoes, humming as he stirred the sauce. And that night, while Elena sat with her glass of wine, Ethan pulled out his harmonica and played the softest, sweetest melody she had ever heard. Lily danced barefoot across the living room, twirling with her teddy bear. The sound filled her home, not with sophistication, but with warmth. Elena found herself closing her eyes, letting the music seep into the cracks of her loneliness. Days turned into weeks. Ethan and Lily's presence was like sunlight breaking through cold glass. Elena, who once demanded perfection in everything, began to tolerate, and even welcome, the imperfection they brought. Lily left crayon drawings on her marble counters, and instead of scolding, Elena found herself taping them to her refrigerator. Ethan sometimes burned the toast, but the laughter he shared with his daughter at breakfast made Elena laugh too. But not everything was simple. Ethan carried a quiet heaviness behind his easy smile. One evening, Elena asked, "Why are you really doing this? You're no Butler." He sighed, setting his harmonica down. "I used to play music, professionally. But when Lily's mom walked out on us, I had to be both mom and dad. Gigs weren't steady enough. So I take whatever jobs I can to keep us afloat. I don't want her to grow up feeling like she's missing something." That night, Elena lay awake in her silk sheets, staring at the ceiling. She thought about the little girl who danced barefoot in her penthouse and the man who sacrificed his dreams to keep her safe. For the first time in years, Elena wondered if her loneliness wasn't about lacking elegance, but about lacking love. The turning point came one rainy evening. Lily had caught a fever.